Okay, so in this video, first off, I'm trying to get to the ATM. So I want to address generational trauma by the way of like keeping a light heart. And it's important for us to keep a light heart. Bonsoir. It's important for us to keep a light heart because if we have animosity or stress, it's not good for us spiritually. Okay? Hold on one second. Okay. But here's what you must understand is that in life, when you have generational trauma, right? Say you had a childhood that wasn't the best, okay? You have a lot of, say, experiences, abuse, a lot of, say, neglect, and things of that nature, okay? When you, I'll use myself for example. I don't mind, okay? No, I don't want to perform another transaction. No, okay. Okay. I don't even think this bank charged me any fees, which is great. Sometimes the fees can be a bit much. Okay. Merci. Bonsoir. You get to a point where you realize that however you were born, however you came out, it was those circumstances that were necessary in order to bring out the character in you to fulfill your destiny. So you can't be upset, nor can you harbor any resentment towards your parents, towards your living circumstances. I can't tell you how many people are upset that they were born into a poor family or born into these circumstances, or why did I choose these parents? You know, and at some point you have to realize this trauma. Why was I born black? Right? All the generational trauma that we go through as Africans. At some point, you realize you can't change the past. All you can do is embody the future. So, the important thing that I want you to understand when it comes to healing, okay? Because as a empath, as a healer, you are the most hurt. You go through the most trauma. Those experiences, conquering them, overcoming them, healing from them, are what qualify you, right? Life's experiences, mastering them for yourself, healing them for your own self, is what qualifies you to help others. Not your doctorate degree, not your master's degree, none of that, okay? What qualifies you is your own self-mastery. And so that's why it's important for you to take responsibility for your life and take responsibility for your own healing and understand, yes, I wasn't given what I needed, or yes, I was given this set of cards in life, and It's the journey of healing and giving yourself what you need, restoring yourself to balance, that experience, that education that is going to heal you. Moreover, when you talk about generational trauma as it relates to being African American in the diaspora, we can't do that without talking about ancestral veneration. And you say, well, how does ancestral veneration, like how does that play a part in all of this, right? And you guys forgive me if I am veering off topic, or it's been a long day. As you can tell, when we started this video, the sun was up. I didn't have no bags. Now we got a car full of bags. The sun is down. I'm tired, okay? So bear with me. But, okay, what I'm saying is, when it comes to ancestral veneration, the healing that you are doing isn't just for you, okay? It is for those who have come before you and also those who will come after you. Okay? So it's important that in this process you do pour your libations. You do call out the names of your ancestors. If you don't know the names of your ancestors, you need to research. Have conversations with your elders. Have conversations with those aunties, those grandparents, those older cousins, your mother, your father, anyone older than you, to get the stories of your family. It's in learning your family history that you will start to heal, that you'll start to see I wasn't the only one. Cousin Fred also went through this. Okay, I see where I get this from. Aunt Ruth had this similar circumstance. You'll start to see. I'm noticing all the women on my mom's side of the family have this certain um, um, tragedy that happens to them. This has to have something to do with our reincarnation. This has to be healed. I need to be the one to break this, right? And as you start to learn these stories, you pour your libation to the ancestors, to the relatives that are no longer here, and you thank them for the life that they live. You thank them for the journey. You thank them for their stories, and you give them energy, and you let them know that now that you are carrying the blood, that you will raise the blood, you will raise the quality of the blood, that you will learn the lesson. And it's through their experiences um, that you will be the armor bearer and do the right thing, right? You're the quarterback now. And so it's also through those libations that you ask for their strength, you ask for their guidance, you ask for their support, you ask for them to give you examples, gentle reminders, to show you what healing looks like, to bring people in your life to show you examples of what healing looks like. This is important, okay? All of that is through ancestral veneration, acknowledging those who have come before you, okay? So you can't talk about generational trauma without talking about ancestral veneration, especially for those of us with the diaspora. So, I just want to leave that with you, that on this journey as a healer, as an empath, you get to a point where you have to take accountability and take responsibility. Does that mean that what happened to you is what am I trying to say? That it's valid, or that it's not valid? No, it's very valid. The abuse that happened to you, the neglect, the circumstances, yes. By no means am I making that small. By no means am I saying you don't have a voice, or you don't have a right to complain, or or speak up for yourself. Not at all. Not saying that at all. But I'm saying once you do that, once you speak up for yourself, once you say, I have a right to live, and I have a right to live right, and I have a right to live whole, and I have a right to live full. Once you realize that and you come into that realization, I have a right to live fully without abuse. I have a right to live without struggle and poverty and discomfort, or whatever your circumstance was, right? Once you come into that fullness and you realize that, and blame is part of that, right? That's because you're trying to figure it out, and in sorting everything out, blame is part of that. So as you're going through all of that, you do all of that. That is a part of the cycle. But what I'm saying is, you don't stay there. There is a step past that. You can't stay stuck there. You have to continue to move through the cycle. That is a part of the healing cycle. That is a part of your strength. That is a part of you building your confidence, for sure, without question. It's necessary. So don't think that I'm minimizing that part of the healing journey. That comes first, for sure. Without that part of the healing journey, you won't be in a place to move forward. Okay, so you definitely have to get strong enough to where you feel worthy and confident and bold, to be able to say, I deserve better, because that's the momentum that's going to propel you into positivity. You understand? So understand that's necessary, but that's not the destination. And some people, that's their destination, and they end up getting stuck there. And there's this loop of self-hate, or there's this loop of hating their parents, or there's this loop of hating their circumstances, or hating their colonizers, or hating their government, or hating what happened to their ancestors through slavery, and the harsh reality that, yeah, with colonization, a lot of us were sold but into slavery, or a lot of us were stolen into slavery, but a lot of us were sold too. That's a harsh reality, and a lot of people get stuck right there. And so know the truth, and get the energy to be propelled into healing, move forward. Okay, and so that's what I want you to take away from this video today. Okay, if you guys ever want to have, say, private sessions, one-on-one sessions, you can click the link in my bio. You can go to the website. www.divinefeminine.net. You can book a session with me. We can talk about it. You can book a consultation, a divination. We can do a spiritual reading. All of those things are available. I don't talk about it often. Really just want to help educate the people. But for those of you who ever want to move forward, know that there's services. We can go deep. We don't have to stay on the shallow end. I can take you into the deep end of the pool, y'all. We can go into the water. Okay, I think that's going to be the end of this video, okay? So in this video, we touched a little bit of generational trauma and a smidge of ancestral veneration. Be well.